Good morning. Before going into my morning invocation, I was having a realization last night about something that's been troubling me, and it's the core of what I experienced a year ago that brought up a lot of fears and worries, and I feel I found the core of it. I was actually looking into this new stone that I got over the weekend. It's called charoite, CHAROITE. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's this beautiful purple. It forms sort of like kyanite in those shard-like flecking, feathering, crystalline structures, and it has flecks of like almost a soft purpley brown, and then these darker flecks as well, and most of it is like lilac and lavender and purple, and it's just so beautiful. And I got a sphere of it, and I was turning it around, just looking at it, letting it tell me things. This is mostly about psychic practices, so this is something that you can do. Just look at something that maybe you don't know anything about and let it speak to you. Let it tell you what it is. Let it tell you messages. Even if you don't know, even if it doesn't say where it's from or how it formed, it does tell you kind of how it forms. And so I was looking into the sphere and seeing this darker fleck, this darker nugget inside these like lavender and purples. And I just heard, in order to transform it, you become it. And so how that relates to this core feeling that is at the center of these fears and worries, and actually this core feeling has been creating the things that I'm worried about thinking. I'm not sure exactly how to say that, of course. But it's as though I'm afraid of something within myself, and now I see what that thing is. I was worried about something within myself, and now I see what that is, where it comes from. And it comes from the first feeling of separation from love. And that is such a terrible feeling. And it creates something terrifying, something hurt, something maybe vengeful, maybe jealous, maybe all of these things that I would really like to not be. But I am those things, and the message I'm getting is I am those things. That being those things, I understand them. And in that understanding, through that understanding, within that understanding, there is transformation. Those things are not separated from me. Those things are not something that I need to rid myself of, even though it would be nice not to have those feelings. Those are not things that I need to rid myself of. Instead, they are like this gorgeous stone where these deeper flecks are mineralizations that other crystallizations have happened around. These other colors, these other striations in the stone, these other minerals have formed in conjunction and symbiosis with, symbiosis is probably the wrong word for geological things, but anyway, just trying to get the point across that it happens together. So the transformation actually is something that I don't have to work for anymore. It has already happened. It is already this core inside that I am now seeing, that I would want to transform into something more beautiful, has already been transformed into something more beautiful by me living it, becoming it, and growing around it, growing love around that stuff. Because in my case, as it is with anyone who has been born into this world and has felt that separation that we can feel in this world, everyone has felt that. And the way that we manage that and cope with that, these other mineralizations that happen around that give us understanding, actually give us more beauty in the end, because we've gone through this dimensional process in dealing with these emotions, and they've given us things that we would not otherwise have had if everything had just been easy. You know, if we never felt separation from love. So this is a note to myself, of course, because there's something more here that I want to unfold, and I didn't want to lose the thought as I turn this sphere of carite around in my hands, I'm mesmerized by it, really. And what shows up, and that's not the only thing that shows up in this beautiful stone, but that is something to me right now that speaks very deeply and strongly, but also lovingly, because I've dealt with it enough, I've worked on it enough to now see the core of it and understand that in myself and show myself love around that, just like these gorgeous lavender lilac colors around these other things. I would love to see a time-lapse video of, I know that doesn't exist, but I would love to see a time-lapse video of stones, the crystals being in their transformation process, and what that, watching that part of nature unfolds, what that can teach us. So instead of being able to watch a time-lapse video, we just stare into them and let them tell us where they've been, what they have to say. And also, in case I haven't said it already, it is interesting to look at these minerals, these stones, these gems, these rocks, whatever you have around you, and realize that you are more temporary than they are. Your body is going to go through its cycle a lot quicker than this thing is going to transform into its next cycle, especially now that you've taken it out of the ground. How long will it take to go back? But anyway, it's going to take a very long time. This thing, this aspect of the earth is going to be around much, much longer than you are. And it's looking at you, this fresh little beastie on the planet. Look, is staring into it. I don't know, it's just an interesting perspective. That your life is a blip in the time that you hold this, even if you hold on to it your whole life, is a blip in its life. And it's going to continue speaking and watching in the way that it watches. Anyway, food for that. But I think that's the message I wanted to take note of for now. I don't think I'm going to record this morning's invocation, and I am working on things to do more recordings on, but finding that there's some things I want to weave a little bit for myself, instead of trying to piece them together in words as I go, unless they really flow and come to me. I will do it then. But that's why I haven't been recording every day, is I go to do it, and then I do it, and then I think, ooh, but I don't feel ready. So I'm just going to go by that feeling and see how things flow. And hope that whoever is listening is enjoying what I've done so far, which are mostly the morning invocations for this second season. And if you're listening for the first time and you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look up the episode, What is a Fractal Donut? Or you can go to the intro and listen to that. Or any of the other ones, and see that my original intention is to develop psychic abilities, but in that, there's actually a lot flowing through that it's like if you've left the faucet open but the power was off, and then the power is turned back on and you realize it's flooding, and you've got to just kind of clear things up a little bit before you can harness that back together. That's kind of how I feel right now. So things are flowing, but it's a bit of a flood, and I want to organize a bit more. So for now, I am sending love and food for thought on transformation, that it doesn't need to be something that we rid ourselves of. Would I want these beautiful striations in this crystal to be gone? No, I would not. So why do I want that gone in myself? It is not gone because things have and should not be gone, because the more beautiful things have grown out of that, and I can see the core and I can understand it, and in that understanding I realize that the work has been done. Maybe there is more work I want to do around it, but a lot of it has been done. I'm not just starting all over just because I've realized where it comes from now. I realize that I've already created beauty. I've already grown crystalline around this subject. In what areas of your life have you done the same? And does that give you compassion for those aspects that maybe you would feel are dark or negative or something that you want to label? But just take a moment and look and see what beauty that may have created in your life, because as humans, just as this piece of earth that I hold in my hand, as humans in these fleshy bodies, we are the emotional equivalent of this geological process. we have the emotional capacity as part of our learning process, as part of our development, as part of this transformation, being in these bodies where we can experience separation. We can experience emotions that are not okay with us, that are not comfortable, that are challenging, disturbing. And how do we meet that and cope with that and create more beauty than would have been possible without it? So how can we cherish that? And in that cherishing, in that there is transformation. In that growth, there is transformation into something that does not let go of what it has grown around. Instead, it just makes it beautiful. Okay, I think that may have gotten the point across. If not, then that's okay. I'll understand what I'm talking about. Sending love and signing off.